Good morning, children. Now we are going to start the chapter number 4 in zoology, and the name of the chapter is Organ and Organ Systems in Animals. In this chapter we will be discussing the vertebrate and invertebrate animals. That means mostly we are saying they are called the metazoans, whose body is made up of so many cells. And in multicellular organism we have seen their body is made up of either different organs and organ systems. But we know that the unit of every living organism is the cell. So cells are functioning in a coordinated way, forming the organs and organ system. So in this chapter we are going to introduce you to understand the morphology and the anatomy of the organisms placed at different evolutionary lines or levels to show their organization and function. Now we know the two terms, morphology and anatomy. Morphology refers to the study of form and externally visible features which we can see from outside. Externally visible features, that is called the morphology. From outside, how does it look, any organism, that is called the morphology. And the anatomy is used for the study of internal organs in the animals. This chapter will be dealing with the morphology and anatomy of two invertebrate animals. Examples we will be discussing as is earthworm, and another one is called the cockroach, insect. One annelida group of animal, one arthropoda group of animal, phylum. And the vertebrate animal we will be discussing, example is frog. Vertebrates represented by the frog. Now that is the introduction. Mainly we will be discussing how these are different organisms, they perform their physiological functions to survive successfully in their habitat. Now first one we will be taking, that is called the earthworm. Its zoological name is Lampito mauricii or Mauritii, Mauritii. So the classification, phylum Annelida we know that, class is Oligochaeta, order is Haplotaxida, genus Lampito, species Mauritii. Earthworm is terrestrial invertebrate that inhabits the upper layer of the moist soil, rich in decaying organic substances, because that is the food for these animals. It is nocturnal. Nocturnal means night time only they come out and they will move here and there. That is why it is called nocturnal. And during the daytime it lives in burrows made by burrowing and swallowing the soil. That is the food, swallowing the soil. They are burrowing the soil and swallowing the soil, and they are living just below the surface of the earth, where the soil is rich in organic substances. In gardens they can be traced. We can see, if we can easily find out where the earthworm is. In the gardens, if you see, they are traced by their fecal deposits. Just like earthworm, like soil will be coming out from that type of fecal. Fecal means undigested food material. Fecal matter which is coming out through the anus. By seeing these structures, we can say that their earthworm is present. So, in the gardens, they can be traced by their fecal deposits known as worm castings on the soil surface. Earthworms are considered as the friends of farmers, because we will be discussing that is there at the last part. The common Indian earthworms are underlined there. Lampito mauritii, it is synonym. SYN means synonym. Megascolex mauricii or Mauritii, Perionyx excavatus, and Metaphyre posthuma. It is generally lower class you will have studied Ferretima posthuma, the scientific name of earthworm. Earthworms are also conveniently classified based on their ecological strategies. That means where they are living. Epigeics, Anasics, and Endogeics, based on where they are located, where they are living, whether on the surface of the soil or just below the surface of the soil or deep into the soil. Based on this, now one by one we are going. Epigeics. Epi, what is the meaning of epi? Epi is nothing but up on the earth. Up on the earth. That is called the epigeics. That means just on the surface of the earth. Are surface dwellers. That's why it is called epigeics are called the surface dwellers. They will be dwellers means they are dwelling, living on the surface of the earth. Second one is example Perionyx excavatus and Euryadrillus eugenei. Anasics means outer layer of the earth, outer layer of the soil. So we are found in the upper layer of the soil. Don't be confused on the surface of the earth and upper layer of the soil. Soil is there, that is earth's surface. It is few meter, it will be the soil surface. So just below, not on the surface of the earth they are living, but the soil surface, the soil, upper layer of the soil they are living, which is called the Anasics. Example Lampetomaurisii, Lumbricus terrestris. Endogeics, they will be living deep into the soil, are found in deeper layers of the soil. They are called the endo means inside, deep into the soil surface. Octochetona, thirstonii, octo, ketona, ketona, thirstoni, toni, toni. So that is the classification. Important 3 marks question may asked. Earthworms are broadly, conveniently classified based on their ecological strategies. What are the 3 types? Epigeics, Anasics, and Endogeics, with one example. Now next one, that is the habit and habitat. Now next part we are going to discuss about the morphology. I told externally how do they look, that we are going to discuss. Lampetomaurisii is commonly found in Tamil Nadu. It has a long and cylindrical narrow body which is bilaterally symmetrical. We know their body can be equally divided lengthwise into 2 halves. Bilaterally symmetrical. L. Maurisii, I mean Lampetomaurisii is around 80 to 210 millimeter in length with a diameter about 3.5 to 5 millimeter. If it is not possible, measurement no need of keeping in your memory. And light brown in color with purplish tinge, slightly purple color tinge at the anterior end. Which side mouth is present, that is called anterior end. Which side anus is present, that is called the posterior end. This color of the earthworm is mainly due to the presence of a special type of pigment underlined there. It is called porphyrin, porphyrin, porphyrin pigment. The purplish color of the earthworm is seen. The body of earthworm is encircled by large number of grooves, which divides it in a number of compartments called the segments, or they are also called metameres. Metameric, the condition is called metameric condition. And as their body is made up of so many segments, the condition is called metameric, and each and every segment they are called metamere. METAMERE, metameres. In last year 10th standard also leech we had discussed. The same phylum, Annelida group. Lampetomaurisii consists of about 165 to 190 segments. These many segments are there. The dorsal surface of the body is marked by dark and dorsal line. Dorsal side means, suppose if the organism is crawling on the surface, which side towards the sunlight or towards the air, it is called the dorsal side. And which surface is having contact with the soil, that is called the dorsal surface. So the dorsal surface of the body is marked by a dark mid-dorsal line, a dorsal blood vessel along the longitudinal axis of the body. The ventral line is distinguished by the presence of genital openings are present. The mouth is found in the center of the first segment, which is called the peristomium. Underlined there. Mouth is present in the first segment, central part of the first segment of the body, called the peristomium. On either side of the mouth, the segment is hanging, overhanging, it is called. The mouth is a small flap-like flap called the upper lip, or it is also called the prostomium. Peri and prostomium. The last segment has the anus, which is called the pygidium. Pygidium, pygidium. In mature earthworms, segment 14 to 17, in that segment number 14 to segment number 17 may be found the swollen or glandular thickening of the skin called the clitellum. This helps in the formation of cocoon. Already in the leech also we had discussed. Due to the presence of clitellum, the body of earthworm is divided into 3 regions. What are the 3 regions? From mouth till the clitellum region, it is called preclitellar region. That means 14th to 17th segment, clitellum is present. So before the 14th segment, starting from 1st to 13th, that segment is called the preclitellar region. Then clitellar region 14 to 17th segment, and after the clitellum, that is segment number 18 till the end, it is called postclitellar region. After the 17th segment, in all the segments of the body except the first, last and clitellum, there is a ring of chitinous body called the setae. This body setae arises from the setigerous sac of the skin and it appears like S-shaped, and this setae can be protruded, comes out, and mainly responsible for locomotion of that animal. Till here. Okay, thank you children.